Having streamlined the execution of the pending works, we are proposing to execute a wide range of infrastructural projects, including new international airport at Mopa, Oceanarium, constructions of sports infrastructure for national and international events, construction of 6-lane bridge over Zuari River, construction of various bridges essential to serve the economic activities, construction of 3rd phase of Panji Market, school buildings, office buildings, market developments, construction of a sewerage network, etc. The government strongly believes in deriving value for the money it spends and therefore lays greater emphasis on meticulous planning, assessing viability of the projects and maximum utilization of the infrastructure capacities already created. My government takes pride in informing this august House that under Japan International Cooperation Agency projects, renegotiation with the lowest tenderer has saved more than rupees 40 crores to the state. We have observed that infrastructure works taken up by the previous government totally lacked basic planning. They were either over-designed or extravagant in costing and improperly planned without having a holistic approach. Such examples are plenty in case of hospital buildings wherein huge number of bed capacity had been created without an analysis of the requirement or footfalls. Similarly, South Goa District Headquarters is another example that could have been easily completed with 40% of the cost. My government is in the process of reviewing such oversized and extravagant projects like District Hospital at Margao, Kala Bhavan at Sankole, etc., so that they can be put to better and optimum utilization. My government is trying to accommodate as many government offices as possible in the premises of South Goa District Headquarters with proper planning so as to optimize the space utilization so that it will be more useful to the general public. These measures will also minimize the cost on security, maintenance, housekeeping, and the need to provide more space for individual offices. We will be doing a quick review of the old projects, including the district hospital at Margao. The bed capacity shall be revised to 500 instead of 800, and the extra space will be converted into a training school for paramedical courses. Despite money having been received from the Center for creation of sports infrastructure for national games, no infrastructure was created. My government has now awarded the work orders for 3 new facilities and 2 works for refurbishment and upgradation of facilities. These facilities shall be used for the forthcoming Lusophonia Games and thereafter for the national games. These facilities will also be utilized for generating revenue to the state. My government will pay special attention to the improvement of infrastructure in the primary health centers and the government hospitals. All urban public health centers will be upgraded to round-the-clock units to benefit the urban poor. Medical tourism will be promoted in a big way by supporting research and development facilities. The government is aware that there is a need for continuous assessment of infrastructure requirements, meticulous planning, and execution of infrastructure projects under key sectors such as power, roads, urban infrastructure, integrated multimodal transport system, and housing. This is essential to bridge the existing gap in the physical infrastructure, which is critical for sustainable economic development. This requires enormous resources, and the state cannot meet such a huge requirement from its own limited resources. Besides resource mobilization, a focused approach is required for holistic infrastructure development. Therefore, to address these issues, a conscious policy decision to attract private enterprise and capital shall be the priority of my government. Also, my government will take up many new infrastructure projects across the state. For many of these projects, consultants have been appointed. The government is carrying out the work of putting a dedicated pipeline for water supply to cater to the needs of Varna Industrial Estate, as well as to improve water supply in Vasco, Marmugao, Varna, Lutolim, and surrounding areas. Further, my government is also enhancing the capacity for pumping as well as water treatment facility under Japan International Cooperation Agency works at Silolim. Further, the vision of my government is to make tourism a vibrant sector playing a significant role in the sustainable development of the state, more so in the light of the current mining scenario. My government wants Goa to be the leading tourism destination in the country and the most visible tourism brand in the country. This state has a tremendous unexploited potential for the promotion of tourism. It is endowed with a rich cultural heritage and architectural splendor. My government will make all efforts to promote Goa as an attractive tourist destination at the international level and reach the level of 45 lakh domestic and 15 lakh foreign tourist arrivals over the next 5 years. We realize the fact that given the level of literacy at 87.40% of the state, there is a need to lay greater emphasis on improving the quality of education, development of basic infrastructure, provision of drinking water and hygienic toilet facilities, especially for girl students, and to achieve 0% dropout rate in the coming year. Repairs and refurbishments of the government schools will be taken up through Goa State Infrastructure Development Corporation. My government will lay greater emphasis on the overall development of the students by exposing them to various extracurricular activities. My government will soon plan out a blueprint for developing an education hub in the state. Higher growth will bring equitable benefits only if the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors grow concurrently. After the commencement of the 11th plan, the cumulative growth in the primary sector is negative as against the targeted rate of 4%. My government intends to pay special attention to the development of the primary sector encompassing agriculture, animal husbandry, and fisheries. The focus will be on enhancing productivity and increasing the income level of small and marginal farmers through schemes designed specially for farm-level intervention. The past few years saw a decline in performance in the agriculture and allied sector despite increased budgetary allocations. My government is laying maximum efforts to revive this sector and make it remunerative for the farmers. The state is targeting a growth of over 6% in the current year in the agriculture sector. Appropriate steps are being taken to address the critical issues of concern under this sector. Special efforts are being made to ensure that all small and marginal farmers are encouraged to continue with their traditional occupations. The hike in the assured prices of various crops as well as milk announced by my government has gone a long way in reviving the interest of farmers in cultivating and rearing of milch animals. The recent past has seen a tremendous response from the farmers on this count. The agriculture sector will be revitalized with a crop-specific strategy for increasing the production of paddy, pulses, sugarcane, etc. Efforts will be made to shift the cropping pattern towards high-value crops while ensuring an adequate level of food production. Forward and backward linkages will be strengthened with large-scale promotion of agro-processing industries with farmers' participation and also by augmenting supply of quality inputs, marketing facilities, godowns, and cold storage facilities. My government has been successful in implementing schemes to address the issues of rising inflation and price rise of essential commodities through various budgetary measures. Reduction in petrol prices, controlled vegetable prices through expanded network of horticultural outlets, assured prices for crops, enhancing milk subsidy, inflationary allowance for housewives under the Grih Aadhar scheme, and such other innovative steps have been implemented. My government has implemented the Ladli Lakshmi scheme to address the issue of falling sex ratio and is implementing various girl-child interventions under the education sector. The overall crime and order situation in the immediate past has not been encouraging. The police have been severely handicapped because of shortage of manpower, both at the level of constabulary as well as at the level of officers. No recruitments have taken place in the last few years, and almost 20% of the vacancies have remained unfilled. As you are aware, it takes a minimum of 1.5 years to recruit, train, and induct a constable into the force, and 2.5 years for an officer to be inducted into the force. My government has initiated steps to fill up the existing vacancies as well as to create a 3rd India Reserve Battalion that was sanctioned by the Government of India long back. I hope all these measures will give necessary impetus for creating a vibrant, effective, and friendly police force. I'm happy to inform that the police department has recently introduced Saaj Sanvad, a community policing scheme to make the police people-friendly. Despite the loss of revenue, my government could implement all schemes as planned. This was possible by curbing all wasteful expenditure and putting a stop to all corrupt practices prevalent in the tendering processes. As in the case of Japan International Cooperation Agency works indicated earlier. The other means adopted was to mop up the revenues through better monitoring and tax compliance. We have been trying to plug the leakages. My government shall continue to lay emphasis on 100% compliance of VAT and other taxes. Identification of the loopholes and plugging them through modification of the laws are some of the measures undertaken by my government. My government estimates that as much as rupees 200 crore is lost due to non-compliance of the taxes. The monitoring and surveillance machinery is also being strengthened to increase revenue collection further. Further, the necessary revision, rationalization of taxes in case of public services will also be carried out. My government's vision is to make Goa a well-governed state, thus making it the most preferred destination for investors. This will be achieved by adopting the principle of zero tolerance towards corruption. Delivery of services by the government will be improved through e-governance initiatives and process re-engineering. All the existing welfare schemes will be integrated with the unique identification number of the residents to improve the delivery of government services that will help in plugging leakages and eliminating corruption. I am proud to announce that Goa is the first state in the country which makes all the government payments electronically, thereby reducing the scope of corruption. Goa is also probably the first state where all the beneficiaries of the government schemes and other payments are routed directly to the beneficiary's bank account. Some of the priorities of my government in the coming years are good governance, creation of state-of-the-art infrastructure, setting up of super specialty hospitals, development of agriculture and allied sector, improving road connectivity, better water supply and sanitation, single window clearance to attract investments, upliftment of the people belonging to the disadvantaged sections, and to bring in total transparency in the functioning of the government machinery in the state.